Hello, this is Tom Meeks, and this is 3D Design for Fun and Life, featuring Moment of Inspiration using the uniquely easy noun and verb method.
This session is project number 5B, completing a holiday ornament.
We finished the top part of our gingerbread house. Now we're going to turn our attention to the lower part. We're going to start with the candy cane. We'll start with the outside edges of the candy cane. That's going to be extruded 8 millimeters. That's the background. Then we're going to move to the stripes, and they will be extruded 9 millimeters. Let me zoom in here and start making this. We're going to use the 3-point circle to begin our work. We'll turn off our object snap and grid snap and just follow as closely as we can just to get the shape right. Now we're going to go to the 3-point rectangle. I'm going to turn object snap back on and come up here on this and come down to the left side and then come across to right there where it intersects the small circle. Now, we're going to make another circle using 3 points right here. And then we're going to have to make some changes to our rectangle. So let's turn our rectangle points on. We're going to show points. We'll bring this down to right about there, right on the circle here, just touching the edge. And we'll also swing this bottom point out so that we get that shape. We're going to go ahead and Bullion Union that. Now the next step is to use a 3-point rectangle again. Come here, come down to the point that we had before, and we're going to go across. Now we don't really care where we are because we're going to reshape this using Edit, Show Points. We'll take our top point on the right-hand side and come up here to the edge. And this is actually pretty good, except that we're going to do one thing. We're going to drop this corner way, only want to move 1 point at a time. There we go. We're going to drop this way down because we're going to cut into this big shape. Construct Boolean diff. We'll click on this lower part. And actually, why don't we do this? We'll cancel that. We'll union the small circle and this together first. There we go. Let's see if we get, there we go. So we've unioned the small circle in that shape, and then we pulled this down because we want to cleanly cut right in here. So we're going to say Boolean diff. We'll select our base object, and then it says select the object to subtract, and we'll select this object and click done. Now we still have our show points on, and that's going to work fine, but we're going to add some points. And we'll use repeat and add regular points so that we can contour this shape better. Then we're going to cancel that, and we'll delete this straight point because we don't need that straight point. We'll start trying to contour the candy cane out of the shape that was already there. And the 2D curves provided by Moment of Inspiration, the drawing tools are just wonderful. As you can see, it didn't take me long to create that shape. All right, we will say turn off show points, and this is going to name this 401. That's the cane, and this will be the background. That's the background for the candy cane, and that is going to be 8 millimeters. Now, how do we make the stripes? Well, actually, it turns out to be easier than we might think. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to say construct offset. Again, with a value of 2, we're going to go to the inside. Now, this gives us our limits on the width of these candy cane stripes. So we're going to go to draw curve, 3-point rectangle, and I'm going to make one rectangle and get it just about right. Let's turn off object snap. Makes it a little easier to draw. And we've got that just right. I'm going to name this ZZ. And you'll see why in a minute. We name it as ZZ. The other thing that I'm going to do, and I'm going to turn object snap back on, is I'm going to draw a freeform line. And that freeform line is going to start there and move around and just follow the contour around to about here. Okay? So I'm going to come down straight. I'll make a little bend out right there, and we'll say done. We're going to color this red just because it makes it easier to see when I want to grab it again. That's going to be a path, and we're going to do a transform array curve, and a curve will array these along a path, and we have 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'll say done, select the path curve, done. And as you can see that they're not quite lined up, but that's okay. We still have 8 of these objects. And all we need now is to just sort of contour these objects. Turn off object snap, rotate, get that rotation right for this particular position. All right. We'll rotate this one up here. You will move and rotate. Move and rotate here. We'll rotate this. We'll rotate this. That's good. We'll move this and rotate it. And we'll move this one up here, and we'll rotate this. There we go. Maybe I'll move this up just a hair. All right. So now all we have to do, we can get rid of that path. We don't need that path anymore. All we have to do now to make our stripes is select the inside boundary here. On the cane, go to Construct Bullion Diff, select all the Z's, and hit Done. And as you can see, we now have all of these stripes. We'll select all of the stripes, and we will say 402 cane stripes 9 millimeter, because they're going to be extruded 1 millimeter out. Well, what we'll want to do here is we will select both the background and the foreground, and we'll come over here and we'll do a mirror. Make sure we have our grid snap on. We'll mirror that to both sides. And the reason we do that is we need this outside profile when we do the final operation. Now let's make the door. The door is actually relatively simple because it's really a series of offsets. So again, we go with our 3 points. Get it as close as possible. Now the big thing here is to make sure that we align it with the center. And we also come up here and we use a 3-point rectangle. We find the quad on the left, the quad on the right, and come down to the base right here. We'll union this to create our outside. Construct Bullion Union. And now we'll do a series of offsets. Construct offset. We'll come in one move, and then we'll click on that one and offset it again to the inside, and we'll offset it one more time to create the window. Now the window is too long, so we edit this, show points. We use a line. Just select the bottom 2 points, use a line, horizontal center, and move that on up right here. And we're going to say edit, hide the points. We'll click on this, construct, fillet, and we'll just fillet these bottom corners to round that off a little bit. All right. Oh, that's perfect. And we'll do one more offset. Offset. 2. And to create the window look, all we need to do is use a center rectangle. It's going to find the center of that shape. We'll manually select 2 here to make sure that our center rectangle is 2 wide. Then we'll take the inside of the window, construct Bullion diff, and our rectangle. And the door is completely done. And we'll name this 501 door. Now we are not going to put the values for extrude here because each of these are different. And they range from 5 to 7 or maybe 8. I don't know. We'll just remind ourselves that they're different. And the door is finished. The only other thing we have to finish are the bushes at the bottom. Going back here to our 3-point curve. As you can see, 3-point curve is really, really useful. And because the drawing tools are so versatile, if I do show points, I can easily turn that 3-point curve into the shape that I need to make the gumdrop shape. All right. And I'm going to do the show points here. I'm going to go ahead and offset this, construct offset to the inside, and select both of these, and now do a transform array, directional array with a count of 3. I'll come in here and then just move it around till I think it looks good. Doesn't matter all that much. There we go. That's excellent. And we will Bullion Union the outside. Once we have that, we'll take all of these shapes, we'll mirror them, to the other side, and we have one other rectangle to create, starting right, let's take the object snap off, about right there, come up. We need a height of 2, come across. And now when we Bullion Union this, Bullion Union, that gives us our bushes. So we're going to call this 601 bushes, and that's going to be 9 millimeters. And then the inside is 602 snow, and that's going to be 10 millimeters. So we have all of the elements now that we need except for one, and that's the background for this unit. We're going to turn all of our curves on at this point, and we're going to select those. Let me delete this one. We don't need that. We don't need that. There we go. I'm going to select the outside here. Anything that's touching the outside or would form the outside profile, we'll grab those. And we do edit, copy, paste. Immediately we're going to go to 701 outside frames, and that's going to be 3 millimeters. And we're going to turn everything else off right now. We will Bullion Union all of 701. Construct Bullion Union. Now, when we do that, it's going to create an outside profile, and it's going to create an inside profile. We can delete that inside profile. There's also going to be this little area here that was created when we union. We can delete that because all we want is the outside profile. There is something we have to add to this, however. I'm going to turn on the chimney frames just so we get a center. And I'm going to create a rectangle here, come across all the way down. There we go. And then a center with rounded corners. I'll pick this. Just get roughly. Actually, I must not have finished that rectangle, so let's do it again. There we go. Now we've got it. So we've got this rectangle and this, and we're going to make sure that we've got that centered on the previous objects. There we go. So now we have all of our frames centered. We will union this and this, the top of the chimney with the body of the chimney, Bullion Union, and then we will take this shape, which we've already named. We always click that first, and then this chimney and say union, and now that becomes a part of the profile. We now have all of the profiles that we need to make this. We'll turn all of our objects on. Ready? We'll start with our 701 outside frames, and we'll say extrude 3. Now there is one thing that we forgot to do. If I go to the bottom here, we'll go ahead and we're going to go ahead and cut a center circle here. Doesn't matter what size it is. And we're going to cut that into the background. There we go. And we'll go ahead and delete that for right now. Now we'll extrude all of the rest. The roof frames are going to extrude, construct, extrude 5. The chimney frames, extrude 4. See how convenient it is that I wrote those down? The window frames, we're going to extrude 4, but then we're going to do something with those windows. I'm going to actually select the window, edit, copy, paste, and I'm going to make 2 more windows here. We're going to move this down about right there. Come over here, we'll align this to the right-hand side. And then we will do another one, edit, copy, paste, and we'll move it to the right-hand side. In order to get that exactly the right place, I'm going to draw a rectangle starting here, coming down to the center, and then when I come over to this unit, I can then move that so that the centers are even. We can get rid of this rectangle. And that got all of these balanced. Okay, next thing we have the Candy cane, 8mm, construct extrude 8. We have the stripes, 9, extrude 9. We have the door, and we're going to work with the door individually. We will take this and say extrude 7. All right. Then we're going to take this, extrude 4. And then we're going to take we'll go to the bottom view so we can get to these frames back here for the window. And we're going to go back to the front, and we're going to extrude that 5. Now let's take a look and see how the door came out. Okay, that's fine. So we have different levels for the door now, as you can see. And the door's working out fine. All right, top. And now the final thing that we need to do are the bushes. So we come down here and we select our bushes, extrude those 9mm, and we'll get our snow, extrude that 10. And we should be finished. The way we see that we're finished is to go into the 3D mode, and we can see, yes, this is our finished product. And so we have all of this 3D relief in our house. That actually looks pretty good. So we're done. As you can see, that it wasn't too bad. And mostly it's because of the drawing tools that are given to us by Moment of Inspiration are phenomenal. And the ability to correct mistakes and move points is just really, really nice to work with. I hope you enjoy your holiday ornament. I realized after I completed this that I had skipped one step, and that is the house frames. You really don't need them, but it will help keep this from warping. So we're going to go ahead and extrude these house frames. Extrude 4. And we could even go 5. And that's going to give a little more stability in this thin area here so that we don't have warping. And that's going to help. So that's the reason I came back to do it. It wasn't necessary, but it's part of the drawing, and so we want to complete that. Sorry about that. Again, I hope you enjoy your holiday ornament, and I hope you enjoy the way we can move from having a picture, 2D drawing tools, and complete a 3D object. I love Moment of Inspiration. This is 3D design for fun and life. 3D design courseware based on Moment of Inspiration by Tom Meeks.
In this session, we finished creating a holiday ornament from a clip art file. The skills learned in Project 5, where we began with a clip art drawing, can be applied to a wide variety of custom creations, including nightlights, lithophanes, signs, and ornamental hangings. It's all made possible by the powerful and incredibly easy-to-use 2D drawing tools that form the backbone of Moment of Inspiration's verb vocabulary. Verbs make nouns come to life in Moment of Inspiration.